when I've worked with people on anxiety and used cold shower therapy,
Yes.
part of the thing that they do for cold shower therapy is to just get in the shower and then slowly turn it to getting as cold as possible. And that's supposed to be done in the morning to help you say, no matter how uncomfortable it gets, I can stay in a state of being calm. I can be calm. And you're programming yourself to breathe through it. You know, because when I watch your videos, you're just doing such a great job. You're not like, you know, you're not doing face gymnastics like you're, you know.
I'm 80 something days into it now, so I pretty quickly adapted. Now, when I first got in, it was all the things that you would normally think of, but then I learned just start the breathing right away. And you know what it's transferred to is when I get in a stressful situation in life now, I just breathe the same way as I do in 32-degree ice water, and magically I stay chill.
That's perfect. Yeah. Well, that's coming into your vagus nerve too, like the breathing, singing, laughing, like, that all, that helps bring about a sense of calm, calm.
Never done on a podcast, and I know he's watching because I see him writing comments down there, but Vince, hey Vince, come up here for a moment. Come up, buddy, because you got quite the story to tell. There he is. He wasn't that far away.
No.
Tell the story about falling out of the parasailing and how you healed. I thought it was a really fascinating story.
Oh, when I was parachuting.
Parachuting, sorry.
Yeah. So this is a funny story to me, but everyone else thinks it's very tragic. So I apologize if I giggle a lot. Back in 2007, before I went on deployment back to, I think we were going to Iraq at the time, we have to jump to maintain our jump status. So it's just really a fun jump, you know, just get it out of the way. And I woke up in the hospital. Don't remember much of anything, but I was told that I was a towed jumper. The cord that usually pulls my parachute didn't pull the parachute, and it looked like I was ready to be cut free and to pull my reserve chute, but I was unconscious because my head hit the plane, 500 miles an hour. It's gonna rattle you. You're gonna feel it.
He was knocked out.
Yes, I was unconscious, and then they cut me free. I hit the ground, but I hit perfect mud. Jesus makes perfect mud. And this mud was so perfect that not only did it not break every bone in my body, but it was so perfect that it wasn't close enough to the water that it filled up and I drowned while they were looking for me. So that's how they found me. They saw my boot sticking up, and they brought me to the hospital, and my phone in my pocket woke me up. This was back when...
Wait, how far did you fall and live?
Oh, goodness. It was 882 feet.
Whoa.
882 feet.
Yes, the second longest free fall in the world where the person lived. But you know what? I don't want anyone to think like, he's, Guinness Book of World Record holder. I'm just like everyone else. I put one.
Second.
Take it away from me.
I want to know what plan God has for you, Vince, because you don't survive something like that without something big happening in your life.
That was the second one. I thought that like after the first one, that was, so my head injury left me with what's called normal memory. I think most people have that. They have normal memory. That's what I was downgraded to. So, and it feels fun. I don't see why anyone complains. It seems okay. But the week prior to my accident, we hit a deer, and it came through the windshield, and I was in the back, and it hit me square in the face.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So he has a picture holding the antlers in the back seat, and the deer just hit him in the head.
Yeah. I was just, and that was the week prior. I got a concussion from that, but no injuries. So, and it was just like a list of what I would call close calls that kind of made it where it's just like, quit fighting it. You know, you're going to live for God, whether you like it or not.
Dude, and your story of the aftermath of not just one of those instances, but both of them, was you could have very easily been anxious and depressed and scared to get in a car and scared to, jump out of a airplane anymore. That was not a problem, was it?
No, my memory didn't, it doesn't really work like that as much. You know, I don't form new memories or stick with new memories very well, which also kind of leads into a lot of anxiety. You know, your personality and everything is built from your experiences. And, you know, my body, like my brain doesn't keep up with those experiences and kind of adjust me. So you start to get on edge and really anxious and trying to look back and understand things is difficult. So I started having difficulty, you know, sleeping, anxiety. My food was, you know, always comfort foods. You know, weight was an issue, inflammation, stomach problems.
So guess what I did?
Yeah.
I put him on the lineup of anti-inflammatories and probiotics, digestive enzymes, and multivitamin and vitamin D. And
I didn't believe it at 1 second. She said to take these pills, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And it wasn't until the doctor told me after my blood test, he was like, oh, you don't need to take these medications anymore. Your cholesterol is now normal. We can drop that down to half. All these things that I thought were just a part of my life now, they were like, yeah, you don't have to take them anymore. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, you're getting better. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. And I was like, oh, those crazy pills.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep taking them. And then other things started happening. Like I have to take a testosterone supplement. And they're like, yeah, you only need to take half the amount anymore. Your body is starting to produce the testosterone on its own. And I'm like, that's not supposed to happen.
He takes the Men's Vitalize, which is full of adaptogenic herbs. So if your testosterone is too high or too low, it'll regulate. When he hit his head on the plane, he damaged his pituitary gland, which regulates testosterone. So I put him on that. So, yeah.
I feel like a teenager again.
TMI, bro. TMI, but thank you, Vince. You can
thank you so much. I gotta get out of here. You guys gotta be back.
Okay, yeah. No, that was a fascinating story. Thank you for allowing him to bogart your interview here for just a few moments.
No problem.
10-year-old next, because your 10-year-old has also seen quite the turnaround mentally with some of the protocols that you did yourself. So, girl, you changing your family. Tell us about the 10-year-old.
Yes, my 10-year-old son, Trevor, he has a really extreme case of ADHD. I was a teacher for years. I have my master's degree in teaching special populations, kids with autism, ADHD, and gifted children. So I've seen a good amount of cases. And so I put him in behavioral therapy when he was probably 4. And we have a test that's called the statue test to see how long, when given direct instruction, a child can hold still. So to gauge where Trevor was in the 0.1 percentile. So the rest of the world can hold still better than my son. So 0.1 percentile. So he struggled in school. He was constantly off task. He's brilliant. His IQ was in the top 6% of the world, but he was not at grade level. He probably paid attention to like 11% of what his teacher was saying. And he was on my campus, so the teachers gave him a ton of chances, but he would get kicked out of class, usually 2 grades up into my daughter's class age, and then he was humiliated. He just hated school. So I said, you know what, I'm going to put him on the Q course, see if we can get his gut biome in balance, see if we can get inflammation specifically in the brain down, calm his nerves down, and put him on Q core. And he immediately, I saw a difference in his rage. Like, he would play video games sometimes, think something wasn't fair. He would throw his remote. We'd have to sit and, have like this counseling session with him. He just wouldn't start crying right away. When his sister would pick on him, he was more in control of his emotions. He just didn't go from, 0 to 60. But the biggest change was at school, because he was able to focus and learn. He started asking questions, had a whole week where he didn't get in trouble, and started to enjoy school. And so he came home to me and he said, I can't say this without tearing up, but he said, "You know what, Mom? I think I am a good boy." And he always was a good boy. He just had struggles, chemically, in his gut, in his inflammation.
Yeah.
And, but he's got a lot of things worked out now. Now he has A's in behavior. He has A's in effort. He loves school. He can't wait to get to school this year. We've already had 2 just lovely notes home, handwritten notes from his teacher. I don't work at that school anymore. I haven't worked there since 2017. But he finally likes himself.
Yes.
He's proud of himself. Because when you're a child with ADHD, your day sounds kind of like this. Trevor, stop. Trevor, put that down. Trevor, sit down. Don't bother your neighbor. Trevor, what are you doing? Trevor, are you watching this? Trevor, are you paying attention? Trevor, pick up your pencil. Trevor, scoot forward. Trevor, put that down. That's what your day sounds like.
Yes.
All day long. And adults are trying to correct. We need to correct, but there's just so much going on. It's just really difficult. And so, again, not everything works for the same person, but the system gets down so much inflammation that I think it gives the brain a chance. And there are some nootropics in there for focus.
Yeah.
And for autistic kids too, getting the brain inflammation down. That's a common thing with nonverbal kids, is there's so much inflammation in their brain scans. And so there's a lot of hope in this, in looking at root cause medicine in nutraceuticals. And I always say, like, it's worth a try.
I hate what we do with kids in America, putting them so quickly on Ritalin and Paxil and all these drugs that are just super powerful drugs when they don't have a deficiency in those medications. Now, maybe on a temporary, kind of in the immediacy, help them. But in the meantime, let's try to heal the thing that's causing it to begin with. So good for you being a proactive parent, you yourself experiencing the change you invent. And so now the little munchkin gets to experience the benefits of a smart mama.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wonderful when other parents are interested and reach out and want to give it a try and see how it will go,
Well, before I let you go, I can't help but see that you call yourself Happy Couple Life SD. So what is the grand secret to being a happy couple?
I think, honestly, putting your partner's joy and happiness above your own.
Yes.
And then if you're both committed to that, you really can't fail. Every day I want Vince to be so happy to see me. I want to know that I create joy in his life. And part of the way as a wife that I can create joy is by taking care of myself.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, husbands want to come home to a woman that's happy, not crazy about everything, and but that just kept herself joyful in the day, because that's the woman he fell in love with. And I think a true supermodel is someone who loves herself and someone who is honest, creates a home that's filled with love and acceptance, and loves others, is other-centered,